Okay, starting off here looking at some mount defense. The first thing I want to say, I have some pet peeves. There's a lot of people do after coaching for a long time. One of the pet peeves I have is when people start mount instruction from this position, like this, or even more offensive, like this. Okay, let's talk about why. Let's talk about why this is a problem, especially when people are talking about, mount fundamentals. This is so fundamentally flawed from the beginning. Now, I understand why people will talk about positions like this with their arms, or here with their arms, or starting with their knees up. I understand why, but problematic. So, as always, when we're looking at positions, the first thing we need to understand is what is the correct body structure posture in relation to your opponent's position. That comes before the execution of a particular offensive or defensive pressure or technique. So right now, we may be looking at what is a fundamental for escaping the mount, but we've already screwed up the more important, more deeply rooted fundamental of posture. So right now, first thing is, there are times when I will have my knees off the mat like this, and I'll have to fight my partner who has either his toes touching underneath my legs or possibly even locking his ankles, essentially an inverted close guard. There'll be times when that happens because he's mounted me in transition or somehow been able to impose that on me. That's nothing I should ever give away for free. Okay, this is not Christmas for him. Jiu-jitsu is to take as much Christmas away from your partner as possible. Okay, so if my knees are up like this and he didn't catch me at just the right time, I gave away a lot. So first of all, I don't want to do that. At least one of my legs completely sealed to the floor is much more ideal. Even better, okay, receive your partner as they mount with both down. Because if you're going to execute a bridge or an upa, you always have the opportunity to bring those up at the right time, okay? But right now, there's no way, okay, if I just have the backs of my knees pressing into the mat for Arthur to get his legs underneath my legs, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, now this can't happen, right? It doesn't matter if he's sitting up, leaning forward, it's impossible for him to do that, okay? So that's the first thing. Second thing, people will have their arms up here like this, or sometimes doing this because they don't want to have their opponent immediately go for their neck. They want to have their arms here ready to intercept. Understood. However, anytime my elbow is not on top of my partner's knee and to the mat, he will always be able to beat my arms with his hips. Okay? Let's switch over for just a second. So we're going to have Arthur turn here at a slight angle. So let's say that I am here and my knees are pinched in. I could be more in a middle mount, I could be a bit higher, but his elbows are up at this angle right now. Okay, so right now he may be thinking, okay, I'm going to intercept if he goes to attack my collar, my hands are in tight in case he's going to try and attack with an Americana or something like that. However, the moment that these elbows are off the mat, I'm already always going to be able to suck in that space. Okay, now bury those, don't let me get any deeper under. Okay. So I suck in that space, okay, and I'm nice and tight. Okay, now try and get your elbow down. Good. So he's in good defensive position, right? Maybe he's fighting me here, but once I can creep up and suck that space in, my hip is always stronger than the arms, even on a much bigger, stronger opponent. So from here, go ahead and try and keep me from advancing. Right. So all I need to do is basically put some sort of bookmark, so you can see it on the other side. Right. From here, okay, try to keep me from advancing. Put a bookmark so that he can't move with me, and I can advance my hip easily. And if I wanted to work all the way up into a high mount position where he's very compromised, basically at this point the only options he has is to try and kick his legs up, either put him in my armpits or throw him to the front of my body, which I can also defend. So that is weak. Always the job of the arms from here is to keep me from being able to advance up his body so that he has the opportunity to launch the big three escapes, which I'll show you, by keeping me down over his hips, right? So although it looks like his neck is open, and there are certainly ways for me as the top player to draw his defense by attacking his neck, his best defense is going to be executed when I cannot lock my legs, put that down, cannot lock my legs underneath his legs, and he's keeping me down over his hips, okay? That's going to come for the UPA, for the elbow escape, and also for the straight arm frame, all of which we'll talk about, right? It's very important. Also from here, he doesn't even want to have his elbows down but be shrugged, okay? If you find that I'm up a little higher, you're really shrugged with your shoulders, okay? Arthur would want to shoulder walk himself up, okay, like this, good. Bury those elbows back down, make sure they're dropped into the mat, shoulders back, okay? Now we're talking about good starting posture. It's a little counterintuitive because you think your neck is open, but you're actually in your best possible situation there.